Alrighty, hey guys, this is Think Outside the Cube, and here in front of me I do have my 2009 Honda Civic EXL sedan, obviously, and this one is going to be in the crystal black pearl with the gray leather interior, and I just rolled 80,000 miles a couple days ago, so it's time to do some updates on it, tell you how it's holding up, how service has been, and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and jump in and start it up. We'll take a look at the key, see how that's holding up. As you can see, this is the key I use day in and day out. All the labels are still there, had no issues with it. And then all my keychains are still the same. So we'll go ahead and insert that. 80,304. This turnover like it should. So hopping out, checking out our wheels. This is going to be the main star, I guess, of the updates. These are going to be my new Pirelli P4 All Seasons Plus. These are going to be 205 55 R16s. These are going to be our new tires that do replace the Michelin Defenders. I did only get about 40,000 miles out of the Defenders, and so that's why we decided to try something different. A new set of Defenders was going to be about $600. And so we are able to get these Pirellis for, I think it was $96 a tire, and then get them installed and stuff like that over at Sam's. And that does include lifetime rotations and balances at Sam's. And so we'll just see how these do. I don't expect any blowouts or cable breakage or anything like that with Pirelli. So if I get 25,000 miles on them, the most that we can do is just not put the set back on and just get something a little bit more expensive. But we'll just see how these do. There's no sense in replacing them with Michelin Defenders when I only got about 40,000 miles out of them. So, nonetheless, next topic of discussion is my fading B-pillars. Not much can be done with these. The most I can do is just plasti dip them, and they are looking pretty bad, but you don't really notice it from far away if you're not looking for it. So it is happening on both sides, and basically any 8th gen you see, this does happen to it. Basically just looks like leprosy going down the pillar. But checking out the roof, you will notice that I am missing my roof racks. And you'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you only lasted 10,000 miles with them. No, I actually took them off because I am going on about a 600-mile road trip to Charleston, South Carolina, back up to Myrtle Beach and through Wilmington. And so we decided to take the roof racks off because I am diminishing MPG by about 3 or 4 miles per gallon by having those on. And they do increase wind noise out on the highway, especially going 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. So you can actually see where the little feet were. Just took them off today when I washed the vehicle. So we'll just see how the car performs without them on the highway, since for the last 10,000 miles I have been driving with them. But I think that's about it for the exterior. Coming around back, I still do have my stickers, the little pimple on the bumper, the little dimple right there, my chrome exhaust tip, and I am still wanting to debadge the Civic logo. Just haven't had time. I've done 10,000 miles in about 8 months, and I only live 7 miles from school. And so I've been doing a whole lot of driving, just using this as a point A to point B vehicle, putting gas in it and going. So not much time for modifications or anything like that. But coming in, one thing to note on the driver door, my lock actuator does need to be replaced. It's funny, as soon as I rolled 80,000 miles on the way to a friend's house, her graduation party, actually after I got there, locked the car, came back to it a few hours later, the lock didn't work. And so I had to manually unlock it via the keyhole. So that just needs to be done. It hasn't done it ever since, but of course if it does it once, it'll probably reoccur. As you know, I did have to replace the one on the passenger rear door. And so that'll just be something to put on the list of things to do. Now, as far as my 80,000 mile service over at the Honda dealer, just oil really, because I did get my tires rotated at Sam's for free. And so just oil over at the Honda dealer. I do need to get my transmission fluid done pretty soon, within the next couple thousand miles. And that's going to be done by a private mechanic just because Honda charges you $300-400 to do that locally. So, and then anything else he sees under the hood, any belts, hoses like that that's dry rotting, needs to be replaced before I go off to school. He's definitely going to do that as well. And then before I go off to school, I'm definitely going to get the whole car detailed, waxed, washed, polished, interior, outside, all that kind of stuff, just completely done. So that way it'll be ready to sit in the parking lot of my school for weeks on end. But I still do plan on driving it and trying to put as many miles on it as I can, just because I do love driving. Coming in, my gray leather is holding up pretty well. As you can see, just normal cracking, stuff like that, no holes or anything. Did vacuum. My biggest recommendation for WeatherTex is not get a color, just get black, because as you can see, I did have to scrub these down with Dawn dish detergent to try and get all of the marks off of them, which I was pretty unsuccessful with, especially over there around the gas pedal. But they do stain up pretty bad. I would definitely get black if I had to do it all over again. But my manual driver's seat, still wishing I had a power seat and still wishing I had auto climate. But those are just some things that I definitely want on my next vehicle. Now everything on the door panel is holding up good. Steering wheel, not too shiny or anything like that. Perforated. Audio, cruise. Headlights. One thing to note is I've never replaced a bulb on this vehicle. Knock on wood. I'm sure I'm going to have to replace it in the next week or so. But I've never replaced a headlight, a daytime running light, a high beam, turn signal, anything. Only thing I've done is voluntarily replacing the dome lights and the plate bulbs. So that's definitely interesting. My friend's Volkswagen Beetle eats through bulbs like candy. So it's just, I guess it's a Japanese thing to not go through bulbs fast. But variable wipers right over here. And then everything on the audio front is doing fine. When I have the front door speaker or the door panel off over here to get the lock actuator done, I did actually think about doing the front door speakers just for those highway or the college commutes, making them a little easier out on the highway with some extra thud. But I don't know. I'd have to see how intensive it is. If it's plug and play, I would do it. If not, and I need some harnesses and brackets and stuff like that, probably not. But climate control is still doing good. AC, haven't had any issues with it recently, but I have had issues with the blower motor. On longer drives, 1, 2, 3 hours, it's done it a couple times where the blower motor, it's just acting like it can't blow more than just like low speed. Like it'll be fine for the first hour or so, and then after, I guess it gets hot, or I don't know what is going on with it, but it just acts like it can't blow more air out, and there's something blocking it or something when there isn't anything blocking it. So I replaced cabin air filter, that didn't fix. So sorry, I was interrupted with a call. But yeah, the blower motor, I guess it's just on its last leg. I'm just gonna wait till it dies before we replace it, just because there's no sense in going to get an electronic diagnostics over at the Honda dealer costing us extra money. When it goes out, I can just roll the windows down for a day or two until I get it replaced. But radar detector, still really enjoying that. I did unplug it just because the cord does hang down from the socket down here. That is going to be one of my tasks for summer, is to hardwire the detector and debadge the rear of the vehicle. But glove box, everything in there. Heated seats still work, of course. Cup holders. Armrests still nice and padded. Still slides and adjust. As you can see down in there, my free Chainsmokers CD that I got from going to the concert. And then my most recent purchase, which is definitely not one of my smartest ones. Coming to the rear seat. One thing I do wish I had more room back here. Carrying more and more friends. With me being 5'9" almost, and this being where the seat is at, there's not much room back here for rear seat passengers, especially on longer journeys. And so I do kind of wish I got an Accord maybe, or a Jetta. I'm pretty sure the Jetta had better leg room. But I haven't had any issues with the vehicle, so there's really no reason to complain about wishing I got something else. Armrest right here. But yeah, I'm just starting to use the back seat a whole lot more, so more room would be appreciated. And that's definitely going to be something necessary on my next vehicle, is a little bit more space. I would love to have like a 4Runner or a huge Passat SEL VR6, something like that, with a lot more room. But this Civic is doing just fine for now. As you can see back here, push this back. I did vacuum out the trunk just for the road trip that we do have coming up. I am leaving tomorrow for that. So I do have plenty of room back here for me and my friend's stuff, since there's only 2 of us. And I am going to use this Yeti right here to just keep some water and some sodas cool for the drive, so we're not constantly having to get overpriced sodas at rest stops. And what I'm probably going to do with this is I'm probably going to buckle it right here in the rear seat, because the way it's positioned right now, you can barely dig anything out of it. And once you put ice and drinks in it, you can barely move this thing. And so it probably will be easier to just put it behind the driver's seat and buckle it in, so it doesn't become about a 60-pound projectile. But yeah, I mean, that's about it for the 80,000 mile update on my 2009 Honda Civic. If I get a driving clip filmed, I'll definitely attach it here at the end. But nonetheless, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Of course, there's always people out here on Sundays looking at vehicles. I've started to film over at Massey on Sundays, just because in my neighborhood there's too many distractions with people driving by and stuff like that. So it's definitely just a whole lot easier to swing by Massey and film a video. Less people driving by, even though there is always those stragglers looking for the correct Camry configuration they want. But we'll just head over to Walgreens. There's a couple of last minute things I think I need to grab for the road trip, like some sunscreen and some gum maybe. I'm gonna have to accelerate right here. So this thing still pulls pretty hard for 80,000 miles. This is basically a 0 to 60 because I did have to pull out in front of someone. But there's really no issues with acceleration or power loss or anything like that. I still do wish I had a lot more power in this vehicle though. At times like that, it would be nice to just be able to plant my foot and just go without any effort at all. And when I was driving that Porsche Panamera, it was definitely really nice to get used to not having to worry about not having enough power with that twin turbo V6 under the hood. But yeah, just sitting in traffic right here. As far as vibration and stuff goes, when I'm stopped in drive-thrus and stuff like that, when I have the AC on, I am starting to get more and more vibration transferring into the cabin through the steering wheel, gear shifter, and sometimes the seats. And that's just from motor mounts. Over time, those do wear out and stuff, especially on these 4-cylinders. And so that's definitely something down the road. If I do end up keeping the vehicle long term, it would be nice to get replaced. But I'm thinking within the next year or two, it will be time to replace the Civic. But of course, no promises. I'm just going based on knowledge right now. 80,000 miles. I would think around 100,000, Dad would want me in something with some lower miles. But yeah, one thing I just wanted to vent about is I hate driving videos where no one talks. There's a couple of YouTubers that just post videos of them drive. Like I watched my parents drive for 15 years. I don't want to pull up a video of you driving a car. I'm sorry. If it has commentary, that's something else. But me just watching you drive a vehicle is no fun at all. I'd like commentary as well, but maybe that's just me. Out of the corner of my eye, over my local Kia dealership, just got a couple of Neros. What are you guys' thoughts on those? I think it's just going to be another flop like the Kia Rondo. The Honda Insight didn't sell it. Just people need to stop trying to compete with the Prius. The Insight didn't sell well. The Civic Hybrid didn't sell well. So I don't understand why people are still trying to go after the Prius. Hybrids are not a booming market per se with gas, almost under $2 now. So, sorry, I was interrupted by another call, this time someone else. But I honestly think that Kia is just trying to broaden their appeal and make more vehicles. Gosh, this light, it takes forever. But that's honestly what they're probably trying to do. They're going into it knowing that they're not going to sell a bunch of them probably. But definitely let me know your thoughts down below. Who knows, it could be the next, it could sell in Optima numbers. But at this rate, I don't think it is. I definitely don't think it is. Oh my gosh, this light takes forever. Okay, there we go. I can always see that the other directions are getting yellow and red lights, so that's how I know that everything's about to change. But yeah, so far so good with the Civic. No real complaints. Just power, really. I'd like to have more power out on the driving front. But I definitely need to look into when spark plugs and stuff like that needs to be replaced, because I have no idea when I'm supposed to do that, just because Honda has really no set timing on when that needs to be done. Everything is done through the trip computer and stuff like that on service intervals. It'll come up with like service A, service B, service C, and those are just codes for the Honda dealer to look into. So me and this Grand Caravan are going to Walgreens and pick up some last minute goodies. Alright, so that's about it for this video. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next one.